Hello everyone, this is Leonite with Leonite's Gaming. Today we're going to play a game called 7 Days to Die. This is a early access one, currently in, doesn't show it, oh there it is, Alpha 11.4. This game came out, about a year and a half ago, I want to say. Anyway, it's made by a company called The Fun Pimps. Really cool set of guys. There's a site that one of the developers maintain, Joel Hutnick, and I believe he's one of the designers. They're doing some incredible things with this game. So we're going to start the series here. I have a server set up here locally that I connect to. Give me 1 second here. Alright guys, so we're just starting up the world here. This is the first time I actually came into the world, and when you first start, you start with a few different things. Bottled water, so you have water that you need to maintain, food that you need to maintain, you have health, as well as stamina. All this is in the bottom left-hand corner. And these can go higher. These are based on what's called the wellness system. So if we come up here to the top and go over to character, and everyone starts out basically naked. So current level 1, wellness 100 out of 200. Now this here determines your maximum health and your maximum stamina. Dying reduces that. Going without food or water reduces that, etc. It can go down to, it was 30 in Alpha 10. I believe it's 40 or 50 now. Now the current level, this is going to play another huge role. You get experience points by crafting items. You get more experience for crafting something you've never crafted before, but you also get experience for crafting things you've already crafted. And killing zombies is another way of getting experience, probably the best way. And this determines how good your tools are. And this land claim block is for multiplayer when you want to claim an area, say this is my area, and it makes it much harder for other people to break your blocks. So there's also what's called a safe zone when you first spawn. So when you're below level 5, you have a 5-hour time period where nothing will spawn around you. So right now we're kind of safe, so we're going to go ahead and we're just going to get some of the basic stuff. So to start with, a little bit of lag there. We're going to collect some plant fibers. We only need 1 to get our first tool. We also need a small stone and here's some bushes. We need a stick. And you can't really get anything else at first. Like, you see all the trees around for wood. This isn't like Minecraft where you can go and break down a tree with your fist. You'd be there for forever. The crafting in this is actually pretty cool. So if we look under, it would be under tools. Stone axe is the first thing we need to make. So we're going to go ahead and put this stuff in here. 4 seconds to craft. Wait for that to craft up real quick. Alright, so we got a stone axe. Now if you look in here, it says quality 39. My current level is 1, so the logic that goes into play, saw a little rabbit run by there a minute ago. The logic that goes into play for determining the quality of an item is your level times 10 plus or minus 50. The higher the quality, the better it is. If you look down at the bottom, it says attributes, max degradation 95, degradation rate 2. That means for every time that I use this to hit something with, it will take 2 durability. And max degradation is how much durability it has. And then you also see entity damage, block damage, etc. That's used to determine how well it breaks things. So we're going to want to pick up a lot of stones because we're going to need to make a bow here sooner rather than later. The other thing that we're going to need is these bird's nests. These are another key thing because we need the feathers. But now that we actually have a tool, we should be able to take out this tree. And the starting, it actually takes quite a while to get things. Once you get an actual tool, like they're called the fire axe, then you can take down trees much, much quicker. The stone axe, unlike in previous versions, is not good for digging through dirt. There's a stone shovel that you can use for that. I don't even know if we're going to get through this tree with this. There we go. So pick that up, and that gave us 6 logs. Now the logs can be turned into 16 planks each, and each plank can turn into 3 sticks. So it's a really good way of getting your sticks. Oh, 4 sticks each, my apologies. Alright, so we got some of those, and we're going to want to make a bow. The wooden bow. This is new in 11.4. In previous ones you could go ahead and make the crossbow right off the bat, and it basically, if you hit guys in the head, it one-shot them. It was very stable, it doesn't wobble at all, unlike the bow. The bow wobbles around. It has lower damage overall, but it's still pretty decent. Now in this one, the bow doesn't actually have a quality to it, so this is as good as it's ever going to get. So we're also going to need to make some arrows. And these can be made 2 ways. You can use a feather, a stone, and a large bone, which you get from zombies occasionally, but also animals. Oh, I just saw an animal over there. I think it was a pig. Or you can use sticks. So we're just going to make a couple of these right now. And you don't have to keep putting these in every time, which I'll show in just a second here. Let me get some more stones. I see too many other stones, so let's go ahead and break this thing down while I'm waiting for that stuff to craft. So one thing that you'll know when you first start a world is be prepared to die. You're going to die until you're used to the game. Once you get used to the game, it's much easier to survive around in. And I'm also going to be playing with some friends occasionally in here. Yeah, so we got 5 arrows per crafting process, but now you see this is green. So if you click on it again, it'll pull things from your inventory and immediately put them up there. But actually, we need to make the stone axe again, because we need a tool. And we got a quality of 1. Probably the worst one we possibly could get. But that's okay. We can make do for now. Get some more stones here. Another thing that you want to pick up right away is these white plants. Those are cotton. You can use it to make some basic armor. And when you start out, armor is going to be very helpful. You'll also have to pay attention to your stamina when you're attacking enemies, because if you don't pay attention to that, enemies will stun you. And if you're stunned, chances are you're going to die. So, and when you do die, if you're playing, this is a random gen, this isn't the pre-gen world. They're called Navigades. So in this, you'll kind of spawn just wherever it happens to spawn you at. You won't always spawn in the same place. There's no real concept of spawn like there is in a lot of games like Minecraft. So you want to try to avoid dying as much as you can, but like I said, you will die. You just kind of have to accept that. I saw one here. There we go. Ooh, got some eggs too. Those are used to make a few things. Bacon and eggs is probably the best thing that you can make out of it, and it's really good. Actually, let's take a look at our map here. So one thing to note is when you spawn, you'll always be fairly close to 0-0. Fairly close, I say, and it's actually quite a ways away. So 0-0, there's always a hub city here, and hub cities, they have a lot of resources in them, but there are a lot of nasty enemies there, so we're kind of going to avoid that for right now. Oh, another thing is when you first craft your weapons, ranged weapons, they don't have any ammo equipped, so you want to pull it out and hit R to ready a projectile right away. So these guys, the cotton, if you put them on top of each other, it makes 1 cloth fragment. You're going to need a lot of cloth fragments, but one of the other really nice things about these, you just put it back in your crafting grid, you can make simple bandages. These guys here are better because they do what these do. They stop bleeding, which is the primary use. But these guys will also heal you a little bit. So we're just going to hold on to that for right now. You're also going to want to pick up these yellow ones, which are goldenrod flowers, and those are used for making a better drink, goldenrod tea. They're twice as good as what these guys are. They do 40 stamina and 40 hydration. You use a bottle of water to make them, so it's a bottle of water and the goldenrod flowers in a campfire with... Ooh, there's a deer. Actually, I don't want to take the deer yet, because he'll drop meat, which will be great, but it smells. And zombies can smell you, and then they'll just start coming for you. So we kind of want to avoid that until we get a little situated. Alright, we need some more arrows. And if you shift-click on this, it'll pull everything from your inventory and make as many as it can. So we're going to want a lot of arrows for that. Go ahead and grab more of these. And you can run in this game by holding shift, but it'll increase your water and food consumption. And in the beginning, we kind of want to avoid that unless, of course, we have to get away. Now these chrysanthemums, they're mainly a decorational item. They don't really have any use other than that. So I'm going to hold off on those for now, just because I'm going to run out of inventory space probably pretty quickly. So go ahead and gather some more resources here, get some more feathers, which is awesome. And we should probably be seeing some zombies here before too long. Ah, there's one. Now these guys are actually a little bit painful. They have a lot of health. They move slowly, but they have a lot of health. So you kind of want to aim for headshots. That was not even close to a headshot. And if you hold right click, you can zoom in. Makes it a little bit easier to hit guys. Oh, we got another guy coming in. There we go. And I just leveled up. Stop moving. There we go. So yeah, you can still one-shot them if you hit them in the head. Ooh, painkillers. They, here's some guys. There we go, cheerleader. So painkillers restore health at the expense of hydration. Oh, that was not a headshot. Now these guys usually have trophies on them. Brass doorknobs, that'll be a nice thing to have. Wow, they are all just coming in right now. Now nurses are really good. You'll want to kill them whenever you see them because they drop a non-craftable resource, which would be the beaker, and you use those to make antibiotics, so when you inevitably get bit, basically you get hit by these guys. They didn't drop any, but that's okay. So when you do get hit by these guys, then you can go ahead and cure that, because if you don't cure it, you will end up dying after a few days. The infection will progress from stage 1 through 4, and at stage 4, you're dead. And I just heard a pig get killed. What is this? Ah, yes. So this is another thing that they added in 11.4 is cave systems. So really good place to find resources, but you'll want to be careful because zombies do like to hang out down there. So let's see here. I'm going to need some more of these. It's kind of hard to aim. They used to have a red dot in the middle to help you with your aiming, but they took that away in this recent update. There we go. Alright, and you can crouch down by pressing control, and if it says hunted, enemies know right where you are and they are coming for you. So now it says like I'm undetected. That guy over there, he kind of knew where some sound came from, but he didn't know where I was. Oh, blueberry seeds. That'll help. And these guys are really annoying because they bob their heads so much. And another thing with crouching, this is basically iron. If you crouch down and guys don't see you, and you hit them, you do double damage to them. So you get a nice sneak attack bonus. Alright, so we should have some more of that. Go ahead and craft up a bunch more of those, because we're going to need it. So we're going to need to find a town, probably sooner rather than later, because towns, oh my gosh, you move so slowly in water. Towns have much better loot than most places, so you can roam around in the woods for a while. There's trash that you find, there's zombies you kill, etc. But towns are really where you're going to find the best resources. Like here's some trash that you can search through, and this really not even worth taking, so not even going to bother with it. One thing that we really do need to find is we need to find bookcases and find a book called Mighty Smelting so we can actually start making a forge. So there are some recipes that are locked behind books, which is essentially their research system. And once we get that, we can start making some better tools. Alright, animal fat. Now these guys, that's used to make candles, basically. That's probably the only use for them. Let's see here. This guy's done yet? No. So if you're not careful, you can very easily get overrun. Like you saw, I was missing quite a bit in the beginning, and guys just kept coming in. Well, if you keep doing that for too long, then guys will start appearing behind you, and it's not going to be a fun time. There's that guy. I just want to keep moving. Stop wasting my precious ammunition. Oh boy. Yeah. Ooh. There's a research book. So we'll go ahead and learn this one. This will allow us to start making ammunition for when we actually get guns, which will be quite nice. Keep gathering the cotton. There's a pig there. Pigs will come in handy once we actually find a place to, essentially, to call home. Now, I say that I want to find a town, which I do want to find a town, but I also kind of am dreading finding the town because towns have a lot of zombies in them. Like, far more than what you find in the woods. I went into a town once and there were easily 60 zombies that all started coming at me. And that was kind of a pain to clear out, but once you clear them out, they're usually cleared out for a couple days, so you have a little bit of time to breathe. You can loot the whole place and kind of set up a base camp, fortify it a little bit before they come back. They'll start respawning there occasionally. Another thing to note is enemies will, oh yeah, you can die from falling also, and even worse than that, you can break your leg. So broken leg equals you move slower, zombies catch up to you quicker. Not a good time. And it looks like I'm on a little cliff here. Not ideal. I guess I could just run and jump into the water. There we go. So one thing that we're really looking for is a road, because roads always lead to either towns or buildings of some form. So, but right now we're essentially just trying to gather a little bit of resources so we can survive a little better. More than likely our first night we'll end up just digging a hole and waiting the night out, because nighttime is very much unpleasant when you're first starting out. But if that, is that a plains. Probably not. Trees just haven't loaded yet. Plains are a really good place to be at. You can see things from quite a ways away. They also have one of the highest spawns for animals. So when you actually do have a little bit of a base set up and you want to start getting some better food, that's probably going to be your best bet, is get to a plains. Not only that, the other place that's really nice to know about is where a desert is, because deserts have some stuff that you can't find anywhere else. Well, most other places. We'll just loot this guy quick and kind of make a run for it, because there's a lot of guys around here. And I know I said you don't really want to run, but there's too many guys there and not enough room to maneuver in. And it looks like we're coming up on a burnt forest here. Burnt forest, I'm not a huge fan of them just because they're kind of bleak. But at the same time, the burnt forests do have a lot of coal that you can mine, which is quite nice for stoking your campfires and your forges with. So we'll probably come back here eventually, but as long as I know where one is, that'll help. So we'll just keep traveling along the river. Now, in previous versions, all biomes are separated by rivers. I believe they changed that a little bit to where it's not quite so cut and dry. Sometimes you can change biomes without having a river in the middle. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I believe that's still a thing. But again, like I said, the first thing that we're doing is trying to get some more resources, mainly so we can make some more arrows, because as you can see, I'm not an amazing shot, especially not with the bow. Wobbles around and it's kind of hard to aim with. But if we can get the Mighty Smelting Book and Leatherworking Book, then we can make the crossbow, which is much better. And sometimes the ragdoll effects are a little bit wonky. Again, it's early access, so these things will be sorted out by the time it becomes a full release. And all guns are locked behind a recipe like you just saw me get there, which was the hunting rifle. So now once I start finding parts for the hunting rifle, I can actually make one. It gets kind of irritating. You find all these parts and it's like, hey, I want to go ahead and make this because it's going to be so much better. And come to find out that you can't. And that, pretty sure, is a plains. Maybe get lucky and find a town there. That is a smoking zombie. Come from the burning forest. Oh, I hate how slow they made the water, though. That's okay. It used to be much faster. You basically moved across at the same speed as what you walked. But I think essentially with this Let's Play that I'm doing, I'm not going to cut the video as much as I do for like my Minecraft videos, mainly because there's always zombies around that you have to watch out for, and I wouldn't want you guys to see me, wouldn't want you guys to miss seeing me die, because I'm sure you guys would love that. And that right there is another tactic that is fairly useful for actually killing zombies, is essentially get to point blank range with them, so that way it's easier to hit them, but it's also rather dangerous. That's probably something that I should do, is I should fill up my glass jars with water. Because you can see my water is down about 2/3 right now. Not an ideal situation, but that's okay. I do have a little bit of food here. Some more painkillers. Now, there is a a way of making some food. Like if you're really desperate, you can, and you don't have much in the way of resources yet. If you do end up killing animals, rabbits, deer, or pigs, then you can make a campfire. And just so I get a little bit safer here, I'll show you guys how to make that. It's basically 8 small stones makes a campfire. Then you can use a stick and... I'm undetected right now. Alright, small stones. So this recipe here is for a campfire. And then there is a spot, and it looks like someone found me. Who found me? Ah, that one. There is a spot for what you want to use for cooking. You can use a stick, and basically the concept is you're taking a stick and holding whatever you're cooking over the campfire until it's done cooking. So you can make charred meat that way. It restores the smallest amount of hunger, and it also dehydrates you a little bit. But if you have to, you can. Ooh, there's some corn there. Definitely going to pick that up. But you almost always want to loot the zombies because they do have some pretty decent loot sometimes. Now, almost all of the plants that you see around can actually be farmed. Goldenrod was added in Alpha 10, so you could actually start farming that up. The only things that can't be farmed up is aloe, which you can find in the deserts or occasionally around houses. Again, those are the only ones in the whole game that can't be farmed. I believe they have plans for making that farmable, but as it stands right now, it is currently not an infinite resource. Hunting rifle, already have that one. Not even gonna bother with the inventory space for it. And now I'm level 5. So theoretically, I could create up to a level or quality 100 item, which that's actually pretty decent. Nowhere near as good as what you can be. I believe you can make like a quality 500 item. I think, something like that. Those last a really long time. They do a lot of damage. Ooh, there's a road. They do a lot of damage, and they're just awesome. So once you actually get to that point, you find yourself not having to replace tools very often. And I think I'm going to go this way because I came from that direction. Hopefully I can find something over here. If you look at the time, it's 11 o'clock right now. Ooh, there we go. Little house at least. Usually they spawn in like basically little city blocks. And I think I saw a brick building there. Yes, that guy there is going to be our home. Alright. Let's make a few more arrows because we're probably going to need it. Hopefully this is just a small town. About 6 houses. Nope, this is a bigger town. That is not quite as ideal. Mainly because bigger towns, more zombies that you have to clear out. Usually there's zombies inside all of the houses. And while you're working on killing a bunch of them, they will slowly begin working their way out of the houses, breaking down walls and whatever. So in this game, they will actually break through pretty much anything to get to you. If you dig down and they know you're down there, they will come after you. So essentially they will come to find you. So if you are not careful, if you don't have base defenses set up properly, then they will find you, they will kill you. So you got to be very careful about that. We're going to probably set up in either that building or that one there. These are actually really nice to defend. There's a couple spots to get in, but it's all brick on the sides, and it makes it it just lasts a lot longer. So I'm actually going to end this first video here, and next video I am going to show working my way through the town. So until next time, this is Leonite with Leonite Gaming. Hope you all had a good time. Have a good night.